I've been hearing a lot in the news about Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, and he seems to be like making a lot of people angry with his attitude when it comes to crime. Okay, people feel he has a very dismissive attitude when it comes to the supposedly high crime that exists in Chicago. Chicago has been known for high crime, especially the south side of Chicago has been known for its high crime for many years. Okay? And I think that's part of the problem. The problem I'm talking about is I believe Brandon Johnson, along with many other black people who grew up in the poor inner city, or what we call the hood, the ghetto, I think Mayor Brandon Johnson suffers from Stockholm syndrome. Like I said, like many other black people who grew up in the hood do. Now, why do I say he suffers from Stockholm syndrome? First of all, what is Stockholm syndrome? Stockholm syndrome is when a victim is with their kidnapper or captive long enough that the victim starts to feel attached to their captor, starts to feel empathy and sympathize with them. Now, in this scenario, poor black people are the victim, and the hood and the ghetto is the captor. Here in America, a large majority, not a large majority, but a large percentage of the black population has lived in the inner city ghetto for many generations. It's been a generational thing. And it's been like this for so long. I believe now a lot of black people identify the hood and the ghetto as part of who they are. They're very protective of it. They're very defensive of it. And they get threatened when anybody tries to come in and change it. Despite black people always acknowledging how hard and rough it is and miserable it can be to live in a ghetto. We say it in rap music videos. We say it in the movies we make. We say it in the speeches we make. Celebrities, especially black celebrities, say all the time when they talk about their life and their childhood. They talk about how horrible they had it having to grow up at poor and in the ghetto and in the hood. So one would think a black person would jump at the first chance to support any change that might come to changing the inner city ghettos, like Trump deploying the National Guard. But Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago is fighting tooth and nail against that. For some reason people don't understand, and I think the reason is Stockholm syndrome. Black people have been held captive in the hood, in the ghetto, for so long now. They have infused it as part of their cultural identity. It's their home. And they don't want people coming in and drastically changing it. So I think that's what's going on with Mayor Brandon Johnson's attitude when it comes to him dismissing and minimalizing the major crime that goes on in parts of Chicago, especially south side of Chicago. He's just so used to it. And any major change like Trump bringing in the National Guard, he feels threatened by it. So I think that's what his problem is. What do y'all think?